Dr. Karen Kan here, and welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. And I want to start out with a little story. So one of the gals on the From Heartache to Joy Facebook group wrote about my energy clearing and protection spray, and she said it was okay for me to tell her story. So basically, she was kind of tight on money, so she made a deal with the cell phone company to pay her bill on the Monday following Thanksgiving, but she knew that, potentially they could turn her cell phone service off until she paid the bill, but she thought she got everything straightened out, and she was going to pay on the Monday, but of course, as soon as she hung up the phone, boom, cell phone died, no more service. So she called back on a landline and negotiated with the person. The person says, nope, sorry, we can't turn your phone back on. It's not going to happen. And then she asked to see the supervisor, and they said, well, that's not going to help. And she says, well, I want to talk to the supervisor anyway. So she did. She was very assertive, which I think is awesome. And she spoke to the supervisor, who again told her, no, I'm sorry, your phone service is off. I can't do anything about it. And so she could feel herself getting frustrated and basically stressed. So she grabbed the clearing and protection spray just without even a thought and just sprayed herself while she was on the phone with this person. And within a minute or so, that person said, I restored your service. And she checked her phone. Sure enough, the phone service was restored, and she just wanted to share that amazing, happy story. So why am I telling you this? Well, it's kind of proof in the pudding, meaning that when you change your vibration, others around you respond differently to you. When you resist, when you push back, when you're angry and frustrated, I know sometimes these are normal human emotions, but just know that if you're angry or frustrated or not forgiving someone else, another energy is pushing back at you and resisting back at you. And so the best thing to do sometimes in a conflict or when things aren't going well is to clear yourself, decrease your stress energy, use the clear and protection spray, drink it if you want. The new version you can actually drink and don't have to worry about how many ounces because it'll just modulate according to what's best for you. The power will modulate. That's the really cool thing about energy medicine. We can now program this. So you can charge this, the energy clearing spray into, anything with water. So it could be like, for example, your, morning tea or your, soup or whatever it is. And it will actually clear negative energy, including entities. It'll add some positive energies as well. For example, the Ho'oponopono, and which is the, forgiveness, healing from ancient Hawaiian therapy. And I know I'm not saying that right, but forgive me, you Ho'oponopono experts. It's good stuff. Let's put it that way. So it'll actually help create an ascended space as well, in your room that you spray it with. So there's some, new frequencies in there that I've added. And so you can get that free clearing spray on my website, KarenKan.com. Just put your name and email address in to be part of my mailing list, and you will get that free, as well as the 6 of my Fast Track Your Healing webinars free, and also 6 chapters of my best-selling book, Guide to Healing Chronic Pain, a Holistic Approach. So it's just more proof that your vibration is what creates or helps co-create your reality. So when you can at least change yourself, guess what? You actually can change other people. It's amazing. So what else did I want to tell you? Well, interesting development. One of my Light Warrior VIP trainees actually is, I believe, a light being, starseed, and therefore has some pretty high vibe energy. And after healing on our Saturday live coaching class, she ended up having some problems being able to muscle test, and we didn't, initially know what the heck was going on. So I tested her today, and lo and behold, she is able now to access multiple universes. Okay, now, why did I even get the idea to muscle test this? Well, the universe and source gives you many creative ways to give you some hints. So I tend to like superhero movies and TV shows. So I'm currently watching season 3 of Flash, and they were talking about the multiverse, the multiple universes. So there's multiple Earths, there's multiple, and there may not be a parallel universe, but there could be other universes. So she was actually sensing another universe, which she did not have to sense. She didn't have to heal, but source said, hey, you know what? I just wanted you guys to know that, so that now she can go about her business to close the doorway to that universe that she does no longer want to sense because it's not her job, basically. And so I have upgraded Ascension's, my Ascension products with the ability to download to you the ability and discernment to be able to close or improve, I should say, your boundaries to the multiverse. Some of you are supposed to be healing multiple universes, others are not, most are not. So if you do not need access to that, then you need healthy boundaries. So that was what was going on with me this morning. I was feeling kind of tired, and I was like, I wonder what's going on. And both James and I felt that as well. And sure enough, we were actually sensing another multiple universes as well. And in that particular universe, there was an Earth, and I was actually healing or feeling the stuff of that Mother Earth. So I was like, okay, is it my job to heal that one? And I got the answer no. So I had some ineffective boundaries with the multiple universes. So we've added that as well to include that in Ascension 2 healing product to improve your boundaries, not only with everything, everyone, and every place, but also to multiple universes in case that is not your role. To heal other people or other universes stuff, so you won't have to feel it in your body. Those of us that are empaths, we kind of need this kind of, help and support. So just know that if you happen to be very sensitive, you get drained all the time, you're very tired, it is very possible that you're sensing things you're not supposed to sense. It could be other people's stuff, human people, entities, or it could be something as strange and weird as feeling stuff from another universe. So that's why folks in my VIP group are very special in that they are willing to be trained on how to assess this stuff and at a higher level. So we really have a lot of fun. So the other thing I want to tell you is I did an article on the Universal Shield. So the article is on my blog at KarenCan.com/blog, and it is called Why Raising Your Vibration Doesn't Work and How to Download the Universal Shield. So people have asked me, well, why should we, create and put up our shields? Isn't that, doing something out of fear? And whenever you do something out of fear, that lowers your vibration. If we just raise our vibration, then we should be impervious to entities, on and on and on. And I couldn't agree more. I think that's very true. The only problem is when I see people, their vibration is pretty low. And how do we check that? We check that with the light score. So this is a scoring system that I came up with the help of Source to give me an idea what the light and dark proportion energies are in someone. And this can span, multiple lives, multiple dimensions, that kind of thing. So your overall light score, where are you at out of 100, 100 being basically pure and as basically pure as you can be as in a human body. But you can do the light score of anything. You do the light score of a computer component. That's how we can actually find very quickly now if someone's getting messed with entities or extraterrestrial interferences. We just measure the light score of their computer, phone, components, internet routers, and within seconds be able to assess which parts are having some dark energies and then clear it all quickly with Ascension 1. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. So the Universal Shield has been upgraded. So you can read my article about, what the shields are, the sub-shields are. So what we find is that people cannot raise their vibration through conscious thought, not even through meditation a lot of the time. They are just too burdened with dark energies to be able to have enough light power. That's a new scoring system, enough light power to be able to raise their vibration. So I see, friends that are into healing all the time who are talking about raising their vibration. And I got to tell you, some of them, when I check their light scores, they're in the 50s and 60s. Sad. These are people that really are just love to help people, and they should be, and they're amazing people, but they're not making money. Some of them don't have a stable job anymore. They just can't get their business off. Because their light score is so low and they're being sabotaged left, right, and center by entities. So you know what? If it's not working, then why not do the shield, right? Once you get your light score to 95 and above, you probably don't have to worry about putting up a shield. But this isn't about going into fear and going, oh my gosh, I have to be shielded. No. What it is just going, yeah, there's dark. It's dark, so let's heal it. Let's heal it all. Let's heal whatever we can heal. And by healing the dark, we increase our light. And by increasing our light, we increase our so-called natural protective shields. So in the meantime, you can actually download the Universal Shield, which includes all sorts of different sub-shields. I won't go into it. You can read the article about that. But some new additions I wanted to let you know about. So because the Universal Shield can be downloaded to any item as well, I've included some for electronics. So my mother is constantly having problems with viruses. I mean, between her, my dad, and my brother, oh my gosh, you know, there's story after story of story about just virus this, virus that, this computer crashing, that computer crashing, printer won't work. I mean, it's just a nightmare. And the more stressed they are, the more the entities like monkey demons like to attack them because it's fun. It's fun to feed off the negative stress energy. So when I was visiting my parents recently, I actually downloaded the Ascension 1s and 2s to my mom's computer. And I just said, look, you know what? You don't have to believe me whether it works or not. Just try it. You know, just try it. Just play it. Send your intention to whatever computer device you want to fix. I mean, some things you actually need to, like, reinstall. You know, if somebody corrupted a file, you actually need that file. So you may have to reinstall. But if it's, you know, if it's monkey demons or something dark or something funky like that, then it's just going to clear. And my dad's pretty skeptical. But my mom's like, you know, she was just so desperate to have her computer work and everything. She did it. She did it. She wants to know how to put it on a loop, because she says, I have had miracles. You know, miracles happen. Even I prove it to your dad. You know, programs that weren't working are now working. Printer that wasn't working is now working. And the big red sign on my dad's poor Apple computer that says, your computer is unsafe. You know, and Norton just like, you know, scanning, never finished scanning. You know, after she loaded up my Ascension, started playing it, rebooted the computer. Boom, Norton finished, said your computer is safe. Now, is that not funny? Is that not a message from God? You know, like, hello McFly. You guys, hopefully you know that 80s movie, Back to the Future. Otherwise, you don't have no idea what I just said. Anyway, so the upgrade includes, you know, what you need to do to erase negative energy from your computer systems and electricity and your router. So definitely, you know, focus your mind on, when you're playing it, on all those things: electricity, the router, the internet, the iPhones, the tablets, the, you know, computers, the computer components, the wiring, everything you can think of that might go wrong, especially if you have those kind of issues. The other thing we did was I created a filter. Now, I did this first for the cells. So this is in Ascension 2, and it is a cellular filter, which basically is a filter that goes around each individual cell of a person. So what we're having problems with hydration and mineral levels every time someone was detoxing, and they would release toxins from their organs, and then the body would just kind of go, you know, temporarily not be able to absorb water or absorb minerals because of the toxins on board. So I thought, well, you know, what if we could automatically neutralize these toxins as soon as they were released, or as soon as the cell, you know, sees them, whether it's exiting the cell or entering the cell, whatever, you know, it is. So I created a brand new morphic field and installed it into the Ascension 2, so that when you're listening to it, and you can put that intention whenever you do the Universal Shield, you normally only have to do it once, but basically it creates this this little network, this filter, so that as toxins go through the cell wall, they will be immediately neutralized. Okay, that energy of the toxic energy will be immediately neutralized. So that's the intention. Whether it happens perfectly for you or not is really up to you, your higher self and source, but the command is there. For many people, boom, it is done. Okay, so that hopefully will prevent a lot of these sudden dehydration issues or sudden inability to absorb mineral issues that my patients and I have been suffering from through our detoxification. So how does that work for computers? So I found in one particular case that the electromagnetic field of a particular component in a computer was being messed with by extraterrestrials. So, you know, my Ascension 1s was already preventing them from doing a lot of other mischief. However, they found some creative ways, and then, you know, I discovered these ways. So one of it was actually the electromagnetic field. Instead of messing with the actual, you know, electricity in the component, like say the you know, the chip inside the computer, what they would do is anything that generates an electromagnetic field, they can actually add a frequency in that field so that the information is distorted, around that field. So what I did was in the Universal Shield, I actually infused a secondary filter for not just your cells, but also for the electromagnetic field of anything that generates an electromagnetic field. So that actually filters out the negative energy from extraterrestrials and entities that could potentially affect it. So we find that the Ascensions 1 and 2 are much more powerful now to be able to protect your equipment from these interferences. And the other thing I want to tell you is that some of us that have super high light power, and that's really the power to shift energy, to do healings, to basically shift energy, I guess, is the best way to describe it. And a lot of these folks are star seeds, like myself, who used to be, high-level ETs. They may actually fry their computers. So their vibration, when it's really high, when it's like, totally on and connected, sometimes they fry their bodies, and that's a problem. So I have to work with them intently with that. But they basically can fry their computers because they're computers that are at this lower vibration, and they're at this super high vibration. And when they stand in front of their computer, it's like your computer gets blasted with this high energy and kind of just freezes, literally like freezes, like, ah! It's like deer in the headlights, seriously, right? So what I did was one of my other VIP Light Warrior VIP trainees, Cassandra, noticed this was happening in her, and so what she did was we talked about in our classes, Light Warrior Bootcamp, about installing a buffering system. So you're going to download a buffering system, which is in Ascension 2, to all your equipment that helps buffer your energy so that it doesn't, go into your computer and freak it out. So she discovered when she increased it multiple times, at least double of what was minimally needed, then all her computer and components started working. she wasn't freezing them all. So that was a wonderful discovery. Thank you so much, Cassandra. So I've actually put a 6 times buffering capacity in there in conversation with Source. That's what was suggested. So minimum 6 times buffering capacity, and also added the unique ability for the Ascensions as we get Ascension upgrades to automatically upgrade themselves, so that as your vibration gets higher and higher and you're playing the Ascensions will be able to modulate that in your computer. So your computer will also increase their buffering system as is appropriate for the level of vibration you are. So that is super cool. I hope you think it's super cool. Anyway, I think it's super cool. So it's sort of like an EMF filter, but it's like a positive filter. What else is going on? Let me see in my little notes here. Oh, yeah. So, I definitely had some detox, upgrading my higher self to Archangel Raphael, although I do feel different after doing that. And so if you're getting a lot of sabotage going on in your life, you feel like, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, it very well could be your higher self. So you want to ask, what the light score of your higher self is and how connected your higher self is to Source. Get a number out of 100. It should be 99, 98, some in the high 90s. If it's anything lower than that, then there's some issues. You may have to help your higher self, do some healing on your higher self, send Ascension 1 or Ascension 2 energies targeting your higher self, or in my case, I just decided to upgrade my higher self altogether, because the higher self that I actually accomplished much of my soul's mission that he did not accomplish in his Lemurian lifetime. So, but just know that there can be some detox symptoms. I have added the frequencies and asked the Ascension 2s to actually automatically upgrade itself with each Ascension upgrade to give you the additional frequencies necessary to minimize detox symptoms or eliminate it, minimize processing time, speed up processing if possible, because new frequencies actually are available to us with each Ascension upgrade. So you can look forward to that as well. So I still have, a few symptoms here and there, but nothing like I did. Thank you so much for everyone in my wonderful Light Warrior group that actually sent me healing without me asking for it. Help me get over these detox symptoms much faster. You guys are so awesome. Thank you. Love you. And then last thing is just I had a wonderful one-on-one session with my friend Jenny No as part of her package that I bought. And, one thing she mentioned I thought was really important to share with you is how much are you resisting what is? Because that's going to block you from manifesting and block you into the flow. And so two of the things I asked her to look into was, the extra weight gain that I had over the last 8 months, as well as this, persistent knee pain that I've had that's bothering my skin. And normally, the pain's so minor, I think, well, it's not a big deal. I'll just, not really worry too much about it. But if it bothers my skating, then that's, I definitely was in resistance. So she mentioned resistance. I went ahead and measured how bad is my resistance, to what is, and whether that be pain or knee pain. And I definitely did not get a 0. I had some resistance. I had a 2.3 and a 2.5, resistance to just overall, and then, to having my knee pain. So then I asked, how willing am I to release that resistance? And got a 53%. So we want to be 100% willing to release the resistance, and that way you can actually gauge how bad you're resisting out of 10, and then how willing you are to let it go. You can do all sorts of creative questions around that. This would be great for my Light Warrior VIP group as well, and then you can do healing around that. So then you can send Ascension 1 and 2 to target those particular areas, or you can command those things to be healed, and some things may come up for you. Emotions may come up. It came up to me that there might be some old cultural beliefs and things like I'm not allowed to have fun, or, life is serious, or you don't get to play until you finish your work, or, some beliefs like that might still be there. Some residual stuff or gunk, like my friend Jenny likes to say. So those are things that I can look at and go, oh, yeah, no, I don't need that anymore. Thank you very much, and then heal that for myself and my ancestry. So, I know the holidays are coming up, and it can be a really stressful time for people. So just remember to take care of yourself. If you have not listened to my radio show on the Ask the Doctor show on LifeWave, Dr. Dennis and I did a really great show. Thank you, Dr. Dennis, about how you use certain acupuncture points and which patches you could use to activate those points for infertility, libido, and sexual issues and sexual symptoms. So check out that show that aired on Monday, December 5th. And then we have some neat shows upcoming for you in December. Next week, I'm going to be interviewing Peter Shank, the modern day mystic, about his new program, Source 5. And I'm going to post my testimonial video for you, but he gave the Source 5 for a week trial as a test to see how people would like it. And so I really thought I'd really test it out. So I thought, well, you know what? Source does a really great job manifesting cash for me, but I didn't have a lot of patients in the office because I do so many remote sessions now. So I thought, well, I'm really going to test it. Then I know it really works if I test it out. So I asked for $1,000 in cash. Now, the most I've ever gotten in cash, I think, was $500. Well, maybe a little slightly more than that in a week. A lot of people pay by check. A lot of people pay by credit card. And then a lot of people, pay in line, right? So I don't have that many patients. So I thought, well, for the very few patients that I have, I can't imagine how I would get $1,000 cash. So that, I drank the water. I did the Source 5 charging. And that day, people paid by cash. And not only that, one person decided that she was going to pay for 10 sessions in advance in cash. So in total, I got over $1,300 in cash that day that I used Source 5. And I was like, I got to make a testimonial video for Peter. He's going to love this, right? And he just wrote LOL. Thank you. So you can check that out on the blog and also on YouTube as well. So I'm excited to ask him about his manifesting computer program. I think it's really great for all of us to have help. And even when I was like stuffy and, congested, and I was using Afrin, for a couple of days, I decided, to use the Source 5 for my congestion. I just thought, I can't hurt, right? So I asked for no congestion the following day, and I was still congested the next day. I still had to use 1 squirt of Afrin. But by about 12 hours after that, I was like, wow, I can smell through my nose. This is amazing. I have a little postnasal drip, but I'm not congested. I do not have to use Afrin anymore. I was really afraid I was going to have to use Afrin all week or something and get, resistant to it or something. But I didn't. And when I tested what was the improvement caused by, it was 67% due to source. So thank you, Peter. Thank you for this awesome program. So that is going to be the November 12th show. And then guess who's back? Lottie Cooper. Woo! Lottie Cooper's going to be back in December doing mini healings. It's going to be an exciting show. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that later. And then later on, we're going to have a replay of one of our shows from one of my other wonderful healing friends, Tamara Joy Patterson. What a sweetheart. She's the one that taught me, almost everything I know about entities besides Dr. Bradley Nelson. And now I've discovered more things since then. But boy, if it wasn't for her, I think I would have gone batty. So we're going to replay her wonderful radio show interview with me about angels and demons. So for those of you who are like new to this stuff, you definitely want to listen to that show, and that's going to be airing near the end of the month during the holiday time. And this is going to be really, really fun, you guys. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching the Spiritual Medicine Digest. And for those of you that have my Ascension tools, more power to you. You'll be getting in the emails some little, like a mini instructional course on how to use them. And check out again the blog on how to download the Universal Shield. I have you given you the Tolpacan Healing Command for that, as well as all the different components of the shields that you have. So happy raising your vibration through whatever way works for you. And like I said, what works for me is using these Ascension tools and download that Universal Shield. Check your light score before and after. If it doesn't take, there's probably a really good reason for that. Either you're being block sabotaged, or you might want to check your higher self light score, make sure that she is not holding you back. So, all right, have a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.